What we're doing is Dan Andrews and all the infrastructure is trying to divide us, and I think if we can overcome the fear, and the best way to do that is with a hug. So we're just having a free hug army. There's free hug army you can join, and it's so easy to make one of these signs, and they're growing. We've got about 6 here at the moment, and just write them down and just hug our way back until we can heal our country. Oh, there's more happening just here. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
I'll be back. I'm gonna catch up.
That's it, healing the divide. Free hugs, officers. And we've just had some. We had a guy that passed just before, took off his mask, gave us a hug. And he actually looked like he was breathing. It worked. It worked. So that's what we're doing today. And we want to capture all the hugs we can, just to basically show exactly the differences between the two armies. Dan Andrews is selling division and fear, and tyranny, we're selling free hugs.
Love the outfits. Oh, that is good. Free hug. Thank you.
There you go. All right, lovely. Okay, gorgeous. Good.
Hello, Michael. How are you, legend? Oh, love cuddles.
Heal the divide, brother. Jesus wants us to be together. Heal the divide. Oh, yes. Good on you.
Freedom, basically. We're really fighting for our way of life, and everything's changing, and it doesn't look like it's ever going to go back again. So we need to do something about that. We're going to stand up and have a voice and do something about it, you know, whatever we can. All our representatives in government are deaf to what we're worried about. They really can't understand what our problem is, what our point of view is, and until we start changing who represents us, well, we're never going to have a voice. Well, I can't work at the moment. I'm a librarian and I'm not allowed to go to work. So it's a pretty big issue for me. And I think, you know, libraries should be a place for everybody. There shouldn't be any segregation in libraries. Libraries are about providing something for everybody. Libraries are for all. And it really does hurt my heart that we're not doing that.
I want to be free, I want my rights, and I don't want to be dictated by Dan. I want my freedom. I lost my job because of the COVID. I was an essential worker all through it, and then as soon as the vaccines rolled out, I was no longer essential and I was disposable. I worked at McDonald's as well as at a pub, so I worked multiple jobs, and then I also was doing rousting at shearing sheds, which we're no longer allowed to do because we don't have the vax.
It represents pretty much every single person that's getting stepped upon, which is the echidna. And tell me, what happens when you step on an echidna? You get spikes in your foot. This bastard right here thinks he can step all over us. We're going to put spikes in his foot. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on me, mate. Don't tread on me.
I'm fighting for my freedom and the freedom of my family. The control, the coercion, the lack of choice. I work in welfare, and so I already work with the most oppressed people in community, and now they're further oppressed, and I can't stand for that. I'm a Christian and I love God, and I know Jesus wouldn't be happy with the injustice that's happening right now. So I stand in my faith, I stand for freedom, and I stand for choice.
Everything is wrong about this because I think the country's going to lose, we're going to lose our freedoms here that we've cherished for so long, and we're not prepared to allow that to happen.
It's about just people being able to be sovereign, make their own medical choices and be able to work whether they're vexed or not. We're just standing up for our children and our grandchildren.
I'm here for the protest today for Reclaim the Line, basically for the teachers, the healthcare workers, construction workers, all of them are involved. I'm part of Red Union, so I'm one of the members of Red Union, so handing out flyers today. Obviously a union that's started up in Queensland, and because of these mandates has been pretty busy, as you would be aware, and we back the workers. We're not just letting these mandates slide. We're pushing for the workers to get their fair work cases put together and all that after being terminated. So that's what we do at Red Union.
Because I don't like Dan Andrews.
Nobody likes Dan Andrews. And am I going on YouTube?
That children are going to next on the list for jabs, and I don't want my children to be science experiments.
Just freedom for everybody, and the right to choose. If we don't stop this now, we are going down a very slippery slope. Not just Melbourne, not just Australia, but the whole world.
I don't agree with any sort of segregation whatsoever. I used to work in drug and alcohol, and I'm horrified that we've now created another homeless class of people. I walked around the city yesterday, met many homeless people, and the problem is we've all become homeless, theoretically, and it's just terribly distressing for me. It's not about vaccination status, it's about how we treat people and how we live in a community. I personally think they're doing it because I don't believe... Look, I haven't subscribed to any of what could be deemed the conspiracy theories, but I do believe that it's something that got out of control. I sort of think it kept on going layer upon layer, sort of outdoing, the layer before, and it's just got out of control. So I just don't know really why they're doing it, other than they think they can get away with it. And, they nearly have got away with it. So we just need to showing up. We need to keep holding the line.
The only pandemic going on at the moment is a pandemic of fear. They are trying to divide us so they can conquer us. And the way that we get back at that is to actually say no and come together. That's why we're doing the Free Hug Army together. That's why we're marching together. We're showing them that we are still the one race. We are still Australian. We are still united. Anyone listening out there, we are your brothers and your sisters. We are your grandparents. We are your mothers and your fathers, your children, and we will be your children and your great-grandchildren. But it is our duty to give our great-grandchildren the freedom we were given, which means that right now we have to fight. And the best way to fight at the moment is with our mouths, with our mobile phones and social media, and with our hearts and souls. For we are on the right side of history. We are beautiful. The people that are trying to crush us are ugly. They are scared of us. I've been saying this again. Now, there's a lot of religion rising. I'll say this very quickly because I've been agnostic most of my life. But what I've been thinking about a lot is that God, whatever God means to you, is just goodness. It's like a light in the darkness. And in your soul is a compass that always knows where God is. At the moment, this Marxist regime is trying to tell us that God is in the other direction. And the trouble is, we know it's not. So all we have to do is hold the line, know where God is, and fight what God means to you in any way, and fight for what's right. Because the battle is no longer in facts. The battle now is in hearts and souls. This Christmas, I'm hoping that this Christmas will be our greatest Christmas, because people are ostracizing us. And I know that sounds terrible, and it is terrible, but when they're at their Christmas dinner and they've got their big turkey and their fake Christmas tree and their house is covered in lights, but we are not there, they might remember this is bullshit. Christmas is about one thing: family, trying to get family together. Even if you don't get on, you just try. So to ostracize us, hopefully they'll go, this is enough, enough is enough, we're better than this, we're Australian. A lot of us have to have some deep thinking of what it means, what freedom means, what it means to be Australian, what it means to be a culture. I say this all the time, but I say it because it's true. We were voted the most livable city in the world, not because of the weather, not because of our infrastructure or our train set, but because of us, the people. The people were cool. We were tolerant. We were kind. We were funky. We had balls. Even say, I know that's out of old speak, but that's the truth. We had courage. But now, this 2 years of fear porn has broken people down. They're lost.
If not for Dan, I would not have met some of the most amazing human beings who inspire me every day to fight for freedom and democracy. Now I stand to fight for you as a Senate candidate for the Liberal Democrats. I want to acknowledge some people. The people at Discernible, Voice for Victoria, Police for Freedom, and David Limbrick, Tim Quilty, Catherine Cumming, Real Rukshan, Topher Field, Ava Yemeni, Jerry Anuon, Monica Smith, Morgan C. Jonas. These are but a few. These are but a few of a diverse bunch of people I didn't know before Daniel Andrews turned our state on its head. It's a cohort that may not agree with each other on every single issue, but it's on one cause we all fervently believe, that rights and liberty in this country have been taken away. Now more than ever, it is incumbent on all of us to stand up and protect children and young people who have experienced the last 2 years growing up like none of us have before. Parents, grandparents, aunties and uncles, this is our time to shine. Our time to show the government what happens when you poke the mama and papa bears. I want to tell you kids and teenagers something, so listen closely. Indiana, I see you. Now, I saw William, Charlie and Emmy before, but I can't see you in the crowd. There you are down there. And all of the other children and teenagers that are here today. You are the nucleus of this movement. Do you know what that means? It means that every single person here, and look around you, there are heaps. They're here because they care about you and the future that they want to create for you. You are special. You are worth fighting for. So stay strong, hold on tight and weather the storm, because on the other side is a beautiful, free, happy life that will be even better than it was before. My journey to this point in time is not dissimilar to many of yours. For those of you who have heard me speak before, you've probably heard me ask, where is your line in the sand? In March 2020, I believe most people knew where their line was. The people en masse would have said there's no way that I would let the government or anyone else tell me when and how I can live my life. Yet look at where we are today and the relative ease to which it happened. I've realised that the problem with lines in the sand is that when you find sand, you find waves and tide. As a wave crashes and rolls up the sand, you take just a little step back to avoid getting wet. It's okay, we tell ourselves, my line is still right there. I know my line. But then the tide of the Andrews government starts coming in, each wave creeping a little further up the sand. It's just a 2-week lockdown to flatten the curve, we are told. We take a step back to keep our feet from getting wet. Masks will keep you and everyone else safe, and we all take a little step back. Work from home if you can, step back. Staying apart keeps us together, step back. Your work is not essential, don't see your friends or family, no funerals, no weddings, no travel. Businesses must close, get vaccinated to protect everyone. Step back, step back, step back. Give up. Most people were so busy keeping their feet dry that they didn't even notice that their line was now so far away it couldn't be seen. It had been washed away by the tide and no longer even existed. Just because the line is gone doesn't mean you can't draw a new one. You're all here because you've marched, walked and charged back down the line of the sand and drawn a new line. You've dug your feet in and you're resisting the waves. You've linked arms with the millions of people here and around the world and stood your ground. Your feet are wet and you don't care. Your line is drawn and no wave or tide will move it again. You are all here because you said no more. Every one of you has reclaimed the line.
Take the book and read the last 8 chapters. 33, show another one.